North London this all night. Red and white shining bright. For the dream, for the family. Arsenal forever, we rise. We waited through the storms, never gave up on the way. Every hard night brought us closer to this day. Now the city full of fire, hear the people sing aloud. Arsenal champions make the family proud. Thank you to the dreamers who believed from the start. You turn pain into glory, put the fire in our hearts. Now the trophy shining bright like the stars in the sky. North London forever, let the victory.
Good evening. Welcome to In the North Bank, the big Sunday show and the finale, 2025-26 season. Now done, finito. And after 22 years, champions. So, yeah, absolutely made up. I am knackered beyond belief, like many fans. I want to hear from as many as possible. Come and get involved, get in the chat. Let us know your thoughts about the season, your best bits, your worst bits. Just let it go. And we're here as a celebration because, look, it's been an unbelievable season. So 22 years, we've not been able to make that jump over to suddenly call ourselves champions of England. Could have been even better, but it wasn't to be. But what a journey to get here. Yeah, we've done really well. Look, we've had stress, noise, doubt, obviously the heartbreak in Budapest. Bittersweet because the parade the next day, the next morning travelling from Budapest. Again, the trophy, again, just watching that back, it brings back so many good memories. And those memories, nobody can take away. I think everyone, I think that moment resonates for so long. And it's probably the most iconic moment, I would say, as an Arsenal fan, certainly in this modern era, this generation of fan that has missed those trophies. I'm lucky enough, I've seen all the way through from 1989. So I've seen moments, I've enjoyed moments, I've celebrated moments, but there's some that haven't done it. So get in the chat, get involved, and let's crack on. Look, I'm on my own, obviously, at this minute, and I don't want to go on and on and on about the same things over and over again. I mean, we've had lots of stuff going on today. This season as fans, and I look at just the whole start of the season and the horrible negativity I would call it to the fan base as well as the club itself, and it was a constant hate on us as a club. It'd always be us. We'd be the ones that would be shot so quickly as well. I mean, we've had it with decisions, we've had it with whatever. The first kind of club to have a decision done against us, that would happen. But some of the mainstream media this season has been absolutely horrendous. And I look at it and I love to hear your thoughts on that side of things as well. I mean, there was a time where mainstream media was really insightful I mean, there were some good times when you'd hear the media talk. You could hear, you could sense there was some good information given. Now it's like mainstream media have seen how well fan channels have done, fan points of views, yeah, the hot takes, everything like that, and they've muscled in on this. And look, that should be for fans only, not professionals. Professional platforms that just take the Mickey, I would say, and they've done it, and they've used the powers of everything to cause chaos. I would say in the rhetoric of how they want to put things, and we've been the brunt of it. We have been the brunt, but look, people can shut up now because that's said and done. Yeah, I've had a chance now to sit down, breathe, spend a bit of time with family, and yeah, look back at what we've just been through. And as I say, it's probably been one of the most stressful, emotional, frustrating, brilliant, and an unforgettable season that I've seen for this club. I mean, look, we got the Invincibles, but again, we were in an era where we were not so much dominating, but we knew we had quality. Yeah, I think we were in and around it. And yeah, this time round, we've just had the 22 years on us. We've had the issues with City pipping us, Liverpool. But this time, yeah, how it ended, how it finished up, I think is probably perfect in the way it did. And yeah, not perfect. I mean, there wasn't the cherry on top. There wasn't the Champions League trophy. But yeah, as I say, let us know about your thoughts on this season in the chat. Look, I could have come and done a show straight after Budapest, but the raw emotion takes out of everything now. I mean, 15 minutes, I was upset. I was disappointed after the game. Never nice to lose a final, especially on penalties. And you can't pretend it means nothing. You travel to Budapest, people pay vast amounts of money to go and see it. I mean, the fan conversations I had with people traveling over, and look, I travelled in from Czech Republic onto a train into Budapest, flew back the next morning to Milan, and then to Stansted, and trained straight to the parade. And there were people that were just all over the shop, and again, ticket wise as well. I couldn't have done it. I mean, I spoke to a few that literally were waiting on tickets coming through to the app about half hour before the march, 45 minutes before the march to the stadium. And I'd be losing myself at that point. But they all got there. It was good. I think there were some issues on the day travelling from the UK, but as I said, it was a massive turnout in Budapest, and just unfortunate that we couldn't get the job done. We couldn't just finish that, because that season you would class that as being perfect on that side of things. The two biggest prizes, and yeah, it would have shut 360 degrees at our club, because there's been a lot of hate. There's been a lot of stuff that's been said, and it's not nice to keep listening to. But as I said, champions of England, don't need to worry about it anymore. Let me know in the chat. Are you disappointed that we didn't win the Champions League? Was that a defining moment in the season for you? Did it put a dampener on the season? Let us know. But yeah, the parade was unbelievable, and the memories. No one is going to take it away from us now, and that is the story. That's how it's going to run on, and there's going to be more. I believe Arsenal said that they're doing a documentary behind the scenes. So it was just nice just to see the fans, and then also the players in their little private VIP party at the Emirates, just being able to let themselves go before again jumping back into it with the World Cup. That's jumped so quickly, but as I say, to get over the line, the nervous energy, the frustration, the pressure. I mean, the fear of actually potentially we've gone and lost it. I mean, there were large parts they'd given up. Yeah, I mean, there were parts that had given up after Liverpool, and when Liverpool went 5-6 points clear. I mean, look, believe, keep the belief, and let it all work out, as the song goes. But yeah, look, and eventually we finished with the release and the relief. Brilliant, just how we could have wanted it. But yeah, before I go on to fixtures, I'm just going to say hello to Emerson. Yeah, I was supposed to have had Richard and Des, and they've deserted me. So I'm on my own. But it is what it is. It's a Sunday, family days, so it's no problem. I'm just trying to think what we should do. I mean, I want to before I go on to the fixtures, I want to just touch base on that parade, though. And if you didn't make that journey, I'll tell you what, it was in parts carnage. The train system badly let fans down. I think they shut the main Eastern line off. Well, not so the main line. They shut off Tottenham Hale, which is a big station that can cope with more footfall of passengers coming in to get onto the Victoria line to come into Finsbury Park. That was shut off, so everyone was getting ferried and kettled through a smaller, or the Seven Sisters station, and then going out and coming back in, and it caused a bit of mayhem. But yeah, as soon as I hit London, as soon as I got in there, and it was like, blimey. And as everyone, family was attending as well. It was quite nice to try and find them, get to them, and I was pleased. I was pleased to have met the wife and my 5-year-old boy with his Arsenal top on, and we enjoyed the moment together as a family. And the streets were littered with all sorts of families, the kids, the little kids just right on the gates, just watching, waiting. And again, the older generations. Yeah, I mean, there's even generations past me. Really good to see the atmosphere, the flags, the horns. My 5-year-old still is just constantly blowing on those horns now. It's quite funny. So he's really got the tune off to a T now. So and yeah, the red smoke again. Seeing the trophy coming through on the buses, it was really good. So that was a 22-year release, and that is going to be my takeaway image from the season. Yeah, I'm not going to be worried about the penalty shootout, the parade, the trophy, the fact that we got it done when others thought we hadn't. We thought we'd bottled it. So, yeah, let us know how you feel. Pride, relief, frustration, or we're still in party mood, aren't we? Celebration. It's going to be an all year long celebration. And also, are you already into World Cup mode? So, yeah, let us know. Get involved. And so we move on. So the season started back in August, and I'll tell you what was. Let me get this up. Our favourite friends in the media. Have I got it? Gary Neville and Mr. Jamie Carragher. And basically, their predictions. Jamie Carragher had us finishing third. And Gary Neville, to his credit, went for Arsenal, but he edged his bets a little bit. So, yeah, it started like that, and there was always the that kind of way. That you've got those battles. You then got the clowns on talk nonsense that have been running all year round stuff against us. So we go into that to this season, and yeah, look, it was a disappointing season the season before with the injuries and stuff, but we knew when we had the fixtures come out, it was big. There was some real big games early on in the season, and it turned out to be quite important for us as well, because we got the lion's share of those big games done really early. Manchester United, first game of the season, and that was always going to be a test. I mean, there's never been an easy game at Old Trafford. It doesn't matter if they're playing well. Doesn't matter if they're playing badly. You've always got a game there. And again, you had the moans and the groans from the media outlets again. Is it too negative? Blah blah blah. And you take it. Look, Calafiori's goal. Job done, 1-0. And you come away with that, a 1-0 win at Old Trafford. First game of the season as well. It's what you need in a title chasing team. Yeah. It might not have been pretty, but as I said, to go to Old Trafford and win 1-0, it's a big win. But then on the back of that, we then play Leeds, who have obviously come up, and they've had a decent season. I don't care what anyone talks about with regards to their position. I mean, they've given many teams a tough game, but we thumped them 5-0. which gave everyone a bit of excitement, really. I think just in the way we played, a bit of belief, the feeling of, well, look, maybe this team is ready. I mean, there's been many times that we've had a team coming up and we've had a little struggle. It might have been a tight game. Look, we beat Forest obviously like the season before, but again, we've had a couple of issues with lesser teams and not maybe say putting chances away. But it was a good taster for the rest of the season, and then to make it harder in this first 3 games, Liverpool away. Again, going to Anfield. And I thought we've done all right. We've done all right through the game. At times, you're riding a bit of, I wouldn't say a bit of luck, but as I said, we played a way of playing to not lose, to keep it tight, and could we nick something? Could we get something? And we did create some chances, but we fell last minute to Szoboszlai's worldie of a free kick, and look, you can't beat that. In all honesty, you look at it and I think it's disappointing, but to conceded, it wasn't last minute. It was about 82 minutes, and we then tried to step up and go for it. But by then it was just a bit too much. Yeah, it was an even game, but yeah, we just didn't do enough on that side. But yeah, 3 games, 2 wins, but yeah, you could feel those old nerves creeping back in though from certain parts. Yeah, it was a story of the early on season. You've played 3 games, you've won 2, you've lost 1. Suddenly, we're not just talking, it's a defeat, it's become a question about the whole project again. And that's where it gets a little bit much from certain areas. Look, you can lose a match. Yeah. Did we deserve to lose it? Probably. We could have lost it. We could have potentially won it. But it was one of those games. It was always going to be a tricky game. And yeah, look, we had to roll on. I think there was an international break after that, as always, which I find it really annoying. Yeah. Let us know in the chat. Was Old Trafford the first sign for you that Arsenal had the steal this season, or were you ones to basically get worried after that Liverpool defeat? Let us know. Yeah. September rolls in, and we've got numerous matches. A 3-0 win against Forest. Travelled to Bilbao, beat them 2-0. That was a really good game. Really lovely stadium. Great atmosphere. Friendly as. Anyone gets a chance, if we ever play Bilbao again, or you get a chance to go to Bilbao, go to Bilbao. Really nice place. And then we played the enemy, Man City, and we drew 1-1. And this whole witch hunting, I suppose, on Arteta, when we look at how the game went, Man City scored early. Yeah. It was, I think, against the run of play a little bit, but they scored. And we dominated them. We dominated them through the game. and you can look at the way the game went, and Martinelli pops up late on with the equaliser, a lovely little chip. One of those that's going to stay with. Have I got it? Have I got it on here? I haven't got the. Didn't move over. No, I haven't got it. But the little still. But I tell you what, it was a great goal, and one that was really needed by us at that time. I mean, 90 plus 2 minutes. So, yeah, look at that game and you watch it back and you look at how we dominated. And would you believe that the rhetoric after the game was that we should have gone for it more? I mean, when you look at we're in control of Man City at that time. Yeah, look at the stats. The possession, 66.8%, nearly 67% possession. I find it crazy that we can be tarnished with that, because again, if we were sitting back, we wouldn't be dominating them. So yeah, I'm baffled by it, and I'm baffled by the whole kind of the thing when we look at, let's say, about Arsenal, we're just sitting back, we're anti-football with this, with that. We play against the lowest blocks. We have the highest defensive line all through the season. So it tells you something. So, yeah, the thing probably I would say, I probably would say that we would. What was I going to say? I've just lost the train of thought. Yeah, if we were playing basically with a real deep line, then you could kind of, you take it and you suddenly say it, but it's just such an odd misconception. The highest line we've got, but we're the ones that are sitting back. We're the ones that are negative. So yeah, I'm going to delve into the chat just while it is going. It's me and Emerson at the minute. Now, for me, as I had a story from 2006 that I had to wait until the last kick that was done after the final, but no one will ever see that secret. Yeah, that was a frustrating game. That was. I was happy for winning the Premiership and for the young lad who presented the trophy and the players' medals at Selhurst Park. Yeah, I think it was all round just a great experience. The only sour part about that was that it wasn't at the Emirates. That's my one disappointment. Yeah, I'd love, even if something could have been done to almost have said, look, the trophy lifting is going to be done at blah, 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 and they would have done a ticket job in advance, and you could have then had a filled out stadium and you could have done it. And I'll tell you what, that party would have been unbelievable. So, yeah, don't know. I think the logistics of that would be crazy. Look, what about the fans that have been at Selhurst Park? Do they get another kind of, maybe say a better kind of route to kind of see it, or I don't know. It's awkward. It's something different, but as I said, it's very rare. I don't know the stats on how many times it's happened where the trophy's been lifted away from home rather than at home. Yeah, don't really know that, but yeah, that was the only sour thing for me. There should have been more there to have seen it. Paul, breaking news that Christian Eriksen collapsed on the pitch and is in hospital. The match was abandoned, and I spoke to BBC Radio 5 football reporter and told him how Arsenal will go. Oh, was that obviously he hasn't collapsed again, has he? I've not seen that, or was that the first time, the original time? But yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you'll have the Man United fanboys. I mean, we can't all go and win a final in last minute through in a game where you've been outplayed totally. So yeah, don't worry about that. I'll let him have his day as well. Look, yeah, well, it'll be one day we'll have it, mate. Don't worry, Sam. Salute, bro. Keep up the hard work. Yeah, just keep trying to stir. Keep trying. Hey, there's no banter now. You can't banter us anymore. So you're going to deal with it now. Okay, for the season, Emerson. Right, good. Okay. So the final, what we're talking about, the final games. Oh, we had the start. That's it. So straight after that, Man City game went to Port Vale, a 2-0 win. And then the away trip to Newcastle. And that was, yeah, really, really good. Went up to St James Park. And Big Gabby, what an important header. And yeah, we responded well there and we got the result. So, job done. That was September, and there probably was another international break in there as well, somewhere along the line. October, I'm just going to roll these through now. Olympiacos 2-0 at home, followed by a 2-0 win against West Ham. A 1-0 win away to Fulham. A 4-0 beating of Atletico Madrid. A 1-0 win, Crystal Palace at home, and a 2-0 win against Brighton. So you look at October, and this was one of the months I look back on now, and even just reading through those scores and that title winning football. Yeah, you look at that, 4 games, 6 goals, none conceded. You know what I mean? Do the maths. Yeah, unbeaten in the month, and look, not chaos football, but controlled, clean, getting the clean sheets, the set pieces, working, defensively secure, and showing maturity. Just look at it, and then sandwiched in with a couple of really good European games. So the team's learning at that stage how to win games different ways, and I think that was probably one of the biggest changes this season. Yeah, there were times there was a couple of wobbles, but as I said, just had to be controlled and deal with it, and then just get out there. But look, not everyone is going to have their cup of tea, or it's not their cup of tea. But as I said, you can't always go through there. Look, we've had champagne football, we've had attacking football, not saying that we haven't played some good stuff, because we have played some good stuff. And anyone who says that we haven't played it is lying to themselves. So, yeah, let's look at what happens next season. So, November. So, your 2-0 win at Burnley, 3-0 win at Slavia Prague. Then, Sunderland. A frustrating game. Yeah, it was one of those results. You could feel the mood kind of shift a little bit. You had fans. We're now counting points dropped, and again, is this where the wobble begins? Then we step up, North London derby, and a certain player who nearly joined a certain club. Anyone could let me know his name? Yeah, God, who was that? Who was that player? Oh yes, Eberitz Eze scores a hat trick, 4-1, the North London derby. So, what a way to introduce yourself. Yeah, and that was the result that kind of again reignited the belief. Followed it up with a 3-1 win against Bayern Munich. And then when you look at the games you've just played, again, there might have been an international break then. He then had a top 2 battle as we went to Stamford Bridge. And again, people were, the media were basically saying, well, look, Chelsea are now going to be the challengers. And look, we ended up picking a 1-1 draw out of it. And yeah, it was a strange game. It was a bit of a niggly game. And yeah, we got out of there, we got a point, and we moved on. But that was, it was a frustrating game. But I mean, that's how you answer the noise around the club. That's how you answer frustration. You don't just talk your way out of it. You've got to win big games. And yeah, look, we did win some big games in Europe at home. Yeah, and we moved on. And those 2 months probably are why we are where we are now, champions of England. December, 2-0 against Brentford. Aston Villa then caught us. And what was it? It was a lunchtime kickoff, wasn't it? And yeah, that was the time when Eze kind of failed to pick up Matty Cash, and Matty Cash popped the ball in. And yeah, we lost 2-1. We then followed it up with a 3-0 win at Bruges, a 2-1 win against Wolves, a 1-0 win away at Everton. And then we played Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup, won on penalties, and then beat Brighton 2-1. And then Aston Villa 4-1 at home. So it was a big response from the defeat at Villa Park. But again, December is a grind. Always is. But every title winning season is going to have months like that. Yeah, that Villa away really hurt. I was in a restaurant with family, watching it, and yeah, had a stream on and went berserk when we scored, and then yeah, we just got caught last minute or not far from the end, and that was that. But yeah, I'm not one to lose faith, but that was one of the games where people were ready to pile in again. But as I said, the response was excellent. picking up 5 wins and obviously getting our own back on Villa at home 4-1. It was a really good result, really good performance. And you could tell that Villa game resonated in the team's minds because of that result. Yeah, not because of just the points, but it showed because the team can take a hit and then answer it back like that. So, what was your most important in December? The Everton 1-0 type wins or that 4-1 win against Villa? Let us know in the chat. Or second time Ericsson collapsed on the pitch, and it was before the Leeds match. I was spoken to. Oh, right, okay. Oh, yes, I remember it now. Right, okay. And yeah, just confirming. Just for the Spurs fans, Eze was the player that nearly signed for you, but didn't and signed for the correct team. And he's now got, what was it? A Champions medal. And yeah, big trophy. And can now say they're champions of England. So, yeah. Okay, Tottenham. So, January. It's a messy month, just in how it is. Look, we had an away trip to Southampton, and in the FA Cup, yeah, we lost that. It was a poor game. From there, they played well. Southampton, to give them the credit, they had a game plan. They've done it well. We had some chances. We didn't really do enough to go and finish it off. And I remember the Bournemouth game after that, 3-2, which was an unbelievable game. I think just in the way it was. I mean, we shot off into 3-1. I think I can't remember if we were 1-0 down and then we come back. Might be able to remind me. I was waiting. Was in a bar, going to see the darts at Ali Pali. It was the final, and yeah, the beers were flowing, but that game was unbelievable. And yeah, what a result. Yeah, 0-0 against Liverpool. We then played. Oh, sorry, that wasn't. Southampton wasn't in January, was it? Portsmouth was. That was our third. That was our round before. That was it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with it now. I'm trying to get I've got my Bournemouths, my Southamptons. Yeah, and we beat Portsmouth 4-1. We then played Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, and yeah, beat them 3-2. It was a really good game. How Chelsea ended up being only 1 goal down after that first leg. But then, yeah, Nottingham Forest, 0-0. I mean, one of those games. But as I said, it was a hard-earned point, and you have to do it again. You have to dig in. You've got to, stay with there and not let anything go down. Inter Milan next, 3-1 at the San Siro. A really good result. And then, yeah, look, we played Man United, and we've always had these kind of games all through the eras. There's, like I said, there's never an easy game. And when you look at the start of the game, and we we bossed the game at the start. The first half hour, I would say, even going up to their goal, because if you remember the goal, it was a Zubamendi mistake. He tried playing a pass, and he got cut out by Mbembo, and then it was 1-1. And then all of a sudden, we go in at half time 1-1, and then Dorgu comes out with an unbelievable strike to make it 2-1. And by then, the tide's turned a little bit, and things are going a little bit nervy. The crowd's sensing a bit of worry and concern. And then, we get to a point about 83 minutes, and then Marino scores. And you look at it, and it was bedlam. It was good. We got back into it, and you just think, can we go on and nick something? And Cunha catches us on a counter and pings the ball in again. And you think two worldies. And look, we've seen these kind of games. And look, I remember David Platt scoring. I went 3-2s, and it's one of those. Just it was a frustrating game. But then we finish up our group in the Champions League against that Karat team from Kazakhstan, 3-2. Again, nothing to play for, and we got the job done, 3-2. But the most impressive game, I think, in that month was the away game at Leeds. And when I talk about Leeds giving quite a few teams a going over, a real tough game. Sam, you might be able to help me on that if you're still in the chat. Leeds gave a few teams some tough games, and we beat them 4-0. So a 5-0 and a 4-0 against a team that's really caused problems for a large part of the actual season. So I mean, that said, that United defeat was the same type of game that's fed the outside noise. It was a sort of result where, again, fans, certain parts of the fan base, here we go again. But champions, again, don't always have perfect months. They've got to survive those bad days. January was a survival month, and I think with the injuries as well, I think around those time, I think we were struggling a little bit as well with players, but you've got to grind, and you've got to work for it. Look, we had the second leg against Chelsea in February, a 1-0 win, 3-0 win against Sunderland. Then we made our way to Brentford. I was in the Brentford end behind the goal. You could see me not happy when they scored their equaliser. And it was one of those. It could have been nice. Look, Brentford played well. They nullified us a fair bit. We weren't really at it. So a 1-1 draw there. We then played Wigan in the Cup, beat them 4-0. Then we go back to frustration. Again, look, February, good wins, but frustrating draws. Wolves being that frustrating draw. Should have been no chance in hell that they would have come back. We were 2-0 up, and the weather was atrocious. Wasn't great. It was a game under the lights. And those two games, the Brentford away, Wolves away, they're the games that drive you absolutely bonkers in a title race. I mean, we've had it at home though. Previously, look at the games that we should have won, didn't win, but they are the results that give all rival fans that oxygen to go on, to carry on. But it is what it is, and you take that, you dust yourself down again, and you go again. You go again, you search, you then look at the answer, and that's Tottenham away. 4-1. And I'm just going to ask the chat again. There was one player scored another few goals in that game. Who was he? Who's gonna say his name? Anyone? Eberitze Eze again. And you look at that game. That was probably one of the best kind of like flowing games, I think, through the season. When you look at the link up with Gyökeres, Eze walking away with a couple of goals, and Gyökeres with two really good finishes. And if that doesn't set the way forward for you after that kind of performance, nothing will. And they've done well. Yeah, they've done well there. And it was like that pressure. Yeah, the noise, that start of the season, the theme of the season, the noise come. Are we going to bottle it? Are we going to do the same? Arsenal answered again. So, move on to March. Again, look, 2-1 against Chelsea. Brighton 1-0. Mansfield in the Cup, 2-1. Bayer Leverkusen draw away, which was a good result. A tough team at home. Followed by Everton win at home, 2-0. And a 2-0 win in the return leg against Leverkusen. It was soured in March with a poor Carabao Cup final, I would say on my side. I'm not one to get massively disappointed over the Carabao Cup, but you just felt that was a game that you could have, or we could have got something, but we were never in it. We were never really in the same kind of mentality as them on that day. We were slow to the ball. We weren't really building anything up at a good pace. But, yeah, again, the final gave people a reason to question us again. And that's what made this season so stressful. Arsenal could have put together a strong run any time, but one painful result would suddenly bring the anxiety back, and we're all just in our heads, hands in our heads, or head in our hands. Sorry, and we go on. We carry on, and we have to roll in. But yeah, look, navigating in the Champions League, beating Leverkusen was decent enough. But again, the question becomes at the end: can we handle the biggest moments? April. I'll tell you what. When we talk about stress, off the chart. This was the month. This is my birthday weekend, and this was the Southampton. We lost 2-1. yeah, that was, yeah, it was disappointing. A train ride up there or down there, and yeah, followed on with then a trip to Lisbon where we beat them 1-0. Then we had the early game on the Saturday against Bournemouth, and Bournemouth, yeah, done a job on us, and yeah, it was disappointing. But again, that was one of those kind of games where you suddenly think this has happened in previous years. That's when we talk about those kind of draws against Wolves, against Brentford. They're those kind of games where you suddenly think, well, they're the ones. Yeah, look, we've dropped 2 points there. We've dropped this, and yeah, that was one of our worst performances. Because bearing in mind, I think that was a point we could have gone 7 points clear. I think it was at the time, and or 10 points. I think it was with the game with them City having game in hand or whatever. But it would have given us a cushion. Now it was back on. It was back on us, which made it really, really tricky. Man City winning games. 0-0 draw at home against Sporting, then followed on by a trip to the Etihad, and yeah, we done all right. But yeah, ultimately we lost 2-1. So when you look at it all, with that run, it's where the old words come flying back. Bottle, thrown away, not enough. Same old Arsenal. Yeah, we finished off the month beating Newcastle and an away draw with Atletico Madrid. But I think April was probably the biggest month in the fact where the fan base got the closest to turning on itself through self-harm, through mainstream media. The whole machine was moving quicker and quicker, and yeah, it was disappointing to see it, to hear it, but the fan base turning, not because people stop loving the team, it's just that fear. The fear so deep. We've waited too long. We've had too many close encounters. Nobody wanted to be laughed at again. And look, that win against Newcastle mattered. 1-1 against Atletico. Yeah, a different team, Atletico, compared to when we beat them previously. That mattered. Arsenal were wobbling emotionally. Yeah, we were. As a group, we were struggling again. Like I said, with those injuries, we were picking up injuries here and there. We were getting one back. We were losing someone else. But we were still standing. So, just a quick one in the chat. Be honest, during April, did you think City were going to catch us? That includes you, Man United fans. If you're still there, Sam, gone very quiet. I hadn't even mentioned 13 years since they won a title. So, yeah, that's it must be really hard seeing your rivals winning all the trophies. A large majority wanted them to do it. Imagine that. So we go into May, and yeah, a win against Fulham, a 1-0 win against Atletico Madrid. crucial game at West Ham, and I didn't want it to come to this. I mean, when we're looking at Tottenham being in 17th, I wanted us to have another 5-6 points at this stage. And I'd have happily said, you know what? I'm bringing my own bubbles, and go on, you take the 3 points. And had we have not drawn against Wolves, had we not have lost to Bournemouth, 3 points for West Ham. West Ham staying up, Tottenham down. But we've got the small factor. There's swings and roundabouts here. I'd like to have seen Tottenham go down, but we wouldn't have been able to serenade them with our song twice. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah, West Ham got beat 1-0. A 1-0 win against Burnley. Again, this is what I was talking about, the lowly teams. And that was a nervy game. Not for the fact that Burnley were really causing us problems. We just knew the stakes. We knew we had to do it. And they were dogged. They were sitting back. They were just almost trying to kill time. And we managed to get the goal. And cue celebrations, cue limbs. It was horrendous. I mean, the celebrations after that, we know that we got one game left, but we knew what was coming. And I mean, it was the eve of the greatest day in the season, wasn't it? I mean, I was gutted I didn't make my way down there at the time. Weren't feeling too good. I've still got a hoarse throat still now. But as I said, not always pretty, not always comfortable, but title-winning teams just get it done. And that'll always be the thing I keep coming back to. They said that we'd bottle it. They said we'd fall short. They said we wouldn't handle it. So, but we did. And Arsenal become champions of England once again. So, we become champions when Man City had a little trip to the east, to the south coast. What a performance by Bournemouth! I have to give them dues. I was watching it in bed with the wife and my little boy as he was getting off to sleep, and when Bournemouth scored, my God, I think he had nightmares of the scream. Oh, Jesus. So, yeah, as many of you in the pubs around at home, no better feeling. But as I said, I wish we could have done it even sooner. But it was nice and simple. 7 points we won it by. And that was really pleasing. So, yeah. Champions. And then it rolls into Budapest. Yeah, we dust ourselves down after the Sunday after the trophy lift. And, yeah, we were on the build-up to Budapest. We're on our way. And, yeah, look, I think it was one of those, it was only until the trophy lift you could then suddenly say everything starts feeling real. We're actually going to Budapest. This is actually going to happen now. And, yeah, like I said, a week ago, my feelings, everything would have a lot more emotion in it. But it's just part of the story now, rather than the story. We lost the final on penalties. We didn't lose a game in the Champions League. Can't take that away from the group, the performance. Yeah. And it would have been incredible to win it. And it would have been the perfect ending. But as I said, it was a bonus dream. No one could take away that Premier League. That was my mission. That was my number one. And we done it. The trophy lift happened. The parade happened. The memories happened for everyone. And I'm so pleased it's happened. To get that off the back and just chuck it in people's faces. And yeah, I'll look back. The parade is what will stay with me most, and probably a lot of you who turned up there. The fans, just seeing families there, the kids, the local community getting involved, the older supporters, the elderly. I've met a few elderly people smiling, really buzzing, and just incredible. And I'll be sharing some more photos and videos on socials. I still haven't had a chance to really kind of go through, but just pleased that after seeing the trophy being lifted, the parade, that feeling after 22 years, the club have given us, the fan base, that moment again. That's the ending of the season for me, not Budapest, the parade. Anyone in the chat, again, if you're at the parade, you can drop us a message. What was your strongest image from the parade? What did you like about it? Like I said, was there any kind of telling moment? Just some iconic photos and videos, and it said they will last. They will last and last and last. But yeah, look, this is where we now move forward, everyone. And look, I'm conscious that I've been rambling on for 70 minutes on my own, and because football has not stopped. Arsenal season's done. The parade has happened. The title started to sink in, and now we're straight into World Cup mode. So it's why I've started building. Well, I've built the road to the World Cup via the channel. I was trying to get the whole kind of football community together. I want to get Arsenal fans and just general football fans from around the world to get involved. So if you support England, France, Brazil, Spain, Nigeria, Ghana, Argentina, Germany, I've added Nigeria in. You're not even in the World Cup. I hope not anyway. But as I said, you've missed out. But I want to connect with global fans. Yeah, I want to get involved. Americans. Yeah, look, I remember speaking to an American come down for the Burnley game. I want to get everyone involved, joining, getting involved, speaking about football, speaking about Arsenal. Just look at the World Cup. Yeah. What does it feel like in your countries about the World Cup? I feel like the feeling with World Cups has dwindled this season. I don't know. I'm always up for. I suppose it's only until the tournament starts that everyone gets a little bit raised and a little bit excited. but I just feel it's a bit low key at the minute. But I want to hear stories from all over, different countries. What are your stories? What are your opinions on it? What is a normal World Cup match day like for you? Let us know. But alongside that, we're launching the World Cup Predictions League. So that's going to be fun during the tournament, but it's also going to be the starting off point for something bigger. Yeah, it's going to form the basis of next season's Premier League Predictions League going into our title defending season. So come and get involved now. Come and join the road to the World Cup. Enter the Predictions League. Represent your country. Represent your football knowledge. And let's build something that carries the community from Arsenal's title winning season into the World Cup and then into this new Premier League campaign. I'll post the links in the description. They might already be there. I can't remember, but yeah, come and get involved. Check out the site. If you go to world-cup.inthenorthbank.com/world-cup-2026, you will be able to see exactly what we do here. I'll put it in the chat as well. It's there. So let's get that sorted, and then we can hopefully get people involved in there. But as I say, I'm going to finish up, and I appreciate anyone that's watched. A week on, I feel proud, not raw, not angry, not trapped in what happened in Budapest. Proud. I mean, what a journey. From the final whistle, a 3 a.m. taxi ride to the airport to then get into Stansted at 10:30 to get to the parade. As I said, season was stressful. It was nervous. It was frustrating. There were moments where outside noise got loud, and there were moments where our own fear as fans of Arsenal probably made everything feel even heavier. But Arsenal got it done. They carried the pressure. They survived the wobbles. They answered the criticism. They handled the running. They become champions of England. And this is what the season should be remembered for. Champions of England. The title, the trophy lift, the parade, the memories. The Champions League final happened. We know it was disappointing, but it does not define the season. And we'll be back. The Premier League defines the season. And now we move forward. The World Cup's here now. The Predictions League is live. The new Premier League season will come around quickly. I think we're only a few days away from the fixtures being released. I think that's just mental. So it's going to be an absolute roller coaster. But we'll not go into it as nearly men. Not a project waiting to arrive, but as champions of England. And just remember to keep repping that name. Champions of England. Don't let anyone forget it. Your neighbours, any neighbours that have got still French flags up for PSG, make sure you get your horns. Make sure you play the songs. I went past one today. Shocking. So, yeah, thanks for joining me tonight. Please, can you like the stream? Please subscribe to the channel. We are going to be trying to build this up further and push it on. But as always, just get involved with the road to the World Cup as a start. But as always, come on, you Gunners. I'm going to dip back in to the chat. Oh, Emerson's just said, yeah, the fixtures are out on the 19th. So, yeah, only 12 days. Madness. I'm just going to dip in here as well. I missed Hente. I personally don't care about the World Cup at all. Oh, just come for the banter then, Hente. Paul, I did not go to the Armoury after the Bournemouth versus Man City match or due to the health grounds. Yeah, I saw loads of photos of videos that happened in the Armoury to watch Parade at home. Yeah, look, I mean, it weren't for the faint-hearted. I get that. And afterwards, it was carnage. I had to walk from. Well, yeah, my journey was from Finsbury Park all the way through. I basically walked the loop and ended up just up the road from Essex Road, and yeah, it was a long journey to see everyone, and boy, it was a bit hairy because it was I was approaching like 1 o'clock, and people were setting up, and that's where it got a little bit crazy. More and more people were turning up, and that was that. So, yeah. So, everyone, thank you very much, and yeah, up the Arsenal, and we'll see you next season. See you later. Bye-bye. Thanks for everyone. Champions.